Have fun plans for the outdoors? Make the memories last with the best outdoor coolers and drinkware. Celebrating 10 years of cool, Orca was founded in 2012, born from the idea of making a hard-sided cooler that beat out all the rest. Orca coolers are built to be as strong as the adventures you take them on. That's why they have a lifetime warranty while giving you world-class maximum temperature retention. Orca's drinkware offers the same high quality, keeping your drinks icy cold or hot for hours, and they look great while doing it. Their stainless steel, vacuum-sealed tumblers and martini cup are perfect companions for your next outdoor adventure. Go to orcacoolers.com/bourbon for 15% off your order. That's orcacoolers.com/bourbon for 15% off. Orca, make it last. Hey y'all, I want to let you know we've teamed up with our friends at pickshop.com. They have an app, the Picks app. It is a new awesome thing that we're moving a lot of our stuff to. We're moving tastings there, we're moving posts there. We're not going to leave Instagram and Facebook and all the other places, but Picks is this really cool thing that we're getting to build with them. We're getting to build how you post. We're getting to build how you go ahead and put in a tasting. And these tastings will match you up to other people and other whiskeys that you are very compatible with based off of what you've put in for your tastings. There's so much stuff. I can't even tell you enough in a minute, but go to pickshop.com, hit the link, get the app, get in there, start tasting, start posting, be a part of the community. We're going to be there. You should be there too. Go to pickshop.com and get the app. What you got for me, Zeke Baker?
Well, so, Mom was in town a few weekends ago now, and I rode back with her to, pick up a car since mine's still in the shop indefinitely, which I'm not going down that tangent, but we'll just leave it at that,
Yeah.
So we're heading back, and, the way we go is kind of in the country for a little bit to get back to the country in Podunk, Georgia. At some point, my mom's like, "What is that smell? God, that is awful." I'm like, "Mom, it's a polecat." I mean, it's a very distinctive smell. Like, we all know what a skunk is. Like, at your age, surely you smelled more than a few of them by now driving up down the road, right? Well, then all of a sudden she rolls down the window.
What? Who rolls down the window?
I'm like, "Mom, what are you doing?" "Oh, God, Zeke, it just stinks in here. It's awful." "Well, where do you think that smell came from, Mama?" "It came from outside the car. That's how the vents pulled it in." "Yeah, but it's in here now." I'm like, "You're letting more in. What good did rolling down the window do?"
Angie's from the country. How does she not know this?
And then the icing on the cake. We roll past a carcass in the middle of the road that's soured. And then obviously that just bellows right in that open ass window too. And I'm gagging. I'm about to puke. I'm like, "Mom, this is the worst idea you have ever had. I don't know what told you cracking the window when smelling a dead or whatever animal from outside the car was good. Like, we all understand the vents pulled in the air, but you know what? They're going to push it back out." Like, no. I thought, next time, Mommy, you want to crack that window? You crack it just enough to get your head out, and then I'm going to roll it right back up behind your ears, so I ain't got to smell with it.
I can't. I have no words right now. We just got to start with Angie. Angie, we got to have a talk. We have to have a talk. Zeke's just shaking his head right now. Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards. With me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drink Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us part of your day. Zeke, I got in a whole lot of trouble today.
Uh-oh. You poo your pants?
No, I picked up my daughter early from school, and she was making something in after-school care, like she was making a board game or something. I could hear her stomping down the hallway of the school. Just could hear the stomps. I knew
she got your walking, huh?
I knew it was coming. No, I'm not a stomper.
You got some heavy feet, bro.
I don't have some heavy feet. I'm like that. Why do you think you call me Big Cat? You've never once.
You went to Kentucky and you're kind of a big guy. I never said you were nimble or quiet like Cheshire.
Quiet like Cheshire. Anyways,
the joke's on Cheshire, but
I know. She's stomping down the hallway. It just comes up and just starts yelling at me. Like, if she knew the word, she would have cussed me out, but it was all my fault. And I was like, I didn't know. I did not know that I was getting you early. Like, you have dance today, so I was getting you at the normal time to go to dance. Like, she was so pissed. She had the word. She would have cussed me out.
Finish the project.
Because then she had to go all the way back down to the hallway. Like, it would have been a whole thing. It would have been a 30-minute ordeal, and she would have missed dance.
Or there's always we can finish it at home. Just grab what you got.
I did say that, and then that is a great point. I don't know if your kids do this, but it wouldn't have been the same markers.
I don't know if I've got that per se, but I see the logic there. I get it. Flip it in and go total distract mode. Like, you remember you got those pictures tonight, right? Like, do you want to look bad in your pictures? I don't want you to look bad. Okay, Dad, let's roll.
Yeah, she had pictures tonight, but she didn't care. There
you go. You got to spin it, man.
You got to spin it. But it didn't work. You know what saved the day at the end of it?
Ice cream.
Chips and salsa. Close. It was chips and salsa. We got home. She was still cussing me out. Like, not cussing me out. She doesn't know, but she was still like... She was yelling at me, and then she goes, "Daddy, can I have chips and salsa?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then she sat there and she was quiet as a church mouse, just eating chips and salsa, and it was all good.
Yeah, that's the best part of the younger age. It's just so easy just to like them totally forget whatever they're mad about by something very simple. Like, you get older and you F up real bad. Like, yeah, this is going to cost me some money to fix, or like bribe somebody else with. Kids, yeah, you want this right here, the snack? Oh, yeah, we good. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, save my ass like you wouldn't believe. Anyways, what's going on in your world? Anything good?
Working. Trying to think, this week I got the kids, not a ton of stuff going on. I'm going to some Wolves release party thing. Depending on when this drops, I may have already been. I might send you some pictures from it. I just keep landing in these expensive ass dinners. I don't know how. Or do I like paying for them? But oh well.
I guess you like paying for them, but it should be a good time.
That thing was great. The bar at Willett Saturday night was great.
I know I cut you off before you started talking about the bar at Willett. Like, Zeke has this whole thing about the octopus he had at the bar at Willett on Saturday night.
It was so good, honestly. And I mean, there were probably well over 40 of us, I would guess. So, I mean, a large format meal, everything came out at once as far as, plating and when the different courses came out. I think very in short, there's some people turned off octopus just by the name or looking at it. But if you've eaten it, to me, it's kind of like squid, calamari, whatever. If it's undercooked, it's really squishy. If it's overcooked, it's really squishy and chewy and whatever. I mean, both sides of the coin, to me, it's almost like eating one of those squeaky ass Wisconsin cheeses or whatever. It's probably the best analogy I have, at least. But this was perfect, right in the middle, really good flavor. And literally, I didn't hear a soul on either side of me complaining about it. It was just really good. The rest of the meal was top notch. Can't say enough about that. And again, the fact that, trying to cook and put on, a staged 4 or 5 course meal for 40 plus people where everything comes out at once, like that ain't easy. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it for sure,
Absolutely.
Oh, something else I had. So I go to the bar late night. I was just tired of bourbon. I'd had enough. So I ordered something that I saw on the menu that had chartreuse in it. The bartender, she makes this funny face. I'm like, oh, if that's a pain in the ass to make, like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not that picky. Honestly, I just saw chartreuse. Anything with chartreuse, I'm fine to drink. And she's like, anything? I mean, as far as I know, I am. And her eyes just light up. She's like, are you okay if it's kind of like heavy, like creamy? I'm like, surprise me, dear. I'm fine here. Like, I just really like chartreuse these days. So literally, she's like lit up like a Christmas tree. So I'm like, all right, this ought to be interesting. So she brings me a chartreuse colada.
You sent a picture of this.
Yeah.
Did you get like a better picture of it that I could put on Facebook or Instagram?
You know how good my pictures are, John.
I know.
I didn't get the recipe from her. I should have asked, but I didn't. But she said it was at least her own variation to a degree. I don't know if she came up with the whole thing on her own. But man, I ended up taking down like 2 or 3 of those bad boys. They were good. Perfect after dinner mint, so to speak.
Did you figure out like, was it green or yellow? And
they put green in it, but honestly, it looked more white than anything. I think it's from the milk that went in there and the heavy cream or whatever. I know there's milk in it. I don't know what else went in there. I really think she put, what's that stuff they put on like fries and stuff? It's black. And you do shavings of it.
Truffles?
Yeah, I think that was shaved across the top of it.
That's crazy.
Man, I crushed. They were good.
And that was at the bar at Willett, right?
It was, yeah. Like I said, the bartender, she hooked it up. She was happy to make it. I was happy to drink it. Win-win.
I'm going to have to work on trying to get the recipe for that.
But it was really good. Maybe one of the better things I had that night.
Anything else you want to share rubbing it in my face, your weekend from last weekend?
Not too much. It was a good time in Bardstown. Wonderful weather. Got to see a bunch of guys I hadn't seen in a few years, especially with COVID and kind of making it harder for people to get together. Wonderful time. Got to hang out with Carlos at La Herradura for a bit. That's ever a bad afternoon watching some football on a Saturday. That's really about all I can think of off the top of my head, at least.
The big news for me is I have a cut on my ankle, like right on my ankle, the bone that's coming out, and it really just is annoying all the time.
The bone's coming out?
Not the bone's coming out, but like where the bone protrudes anyway in your ankle, where it kind of comes out and makes point.
Well, it does that on both sides, actually.
Well, so the outside side.
The outside side of the outside of the skin.
Yeah, has a cut.
Lot going on right there. How did you do this?
I don't know. Maybe it was my shoe. I don't know.
I was hoping maybe somebody was hiding under the stairs and they tried to clip your Achilles and missed.
Maybe. Anyways, tonight we are drinking Barrell craft spirits, the Barrell Vantage. So BCS award-winning independent blender of unique aged cask-strength whiskey and rum will introduce Barrell Vantage, a straight blend of bourbons finished in 3 distinct expressions of virgin oak, Mizunara, French, and toasted American oak casks. As the newest ongoing release in the BCS portfolio, this expression emphasizes each wood characteristic and flavor contribution in the blend and skillfully highlights the toasted characteristics and elegance of these finishing casks.
So all bourbons finished in either Mizunara, French oak, or toasted, is that right? And I'm assuming toasted is just going to be New American oak?
Yes, toasted American oak casks.
Gotcha. All right. At least I kept up for once.
Each component whiskey in Barrell Vantage is finished separately, then systematically combined according to a blending process fueled in equal parts by a scientific approach, experience, creativity, and experimentation. The process focuses on wood characteristics and the specific flavor contributions that each cask contributes to the blend. The result is a masterfully blended, perfectly balanced representation of the harmonious synergy between bourbon and barrel. Through past introductions, including Armada, Dovetail, and Seagrass, the BCS team has many years of experience with 3-part barrel finishing. With Vantage, the team applied those same techniques to the oak itself, using different char levels, toast levels, and oak origins to create a multi-dimensional blend. Ultimately, Barrell Vantage is defined by balance and depth of flavor and highlights the blending expertise that has come to define barrel craft spirits. So this comes in at the end of the day, 114.44 proof. It is 57.22% ABV. We don't necessarily know the age of anything. It is non-age stated. It's $90, but it is sourced from places in Indiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky, like normal for Barrell.
Gotcha. I did have down as a question if this was all a single source or varied. And then also, what was the little tidbit you said about equal parts? Because I can't imagine they blended this and just straight out like 33, 33, 33.
Each component whiskey in Barrell Vantage is finished separately, then systematically combined according to a blending process fueled in equal parts by a scientific approach, experience, creativity, and experimentation. So that doesn't mean it's equal parts what goes into the...
Equal parts how they arrive at their final product using these different skill sets. It's still a tough set of words to use when you're talking about blends. Either way, it puts my head in a different place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I cooked this food, I used equal parts of how much heat to have on the stove, how much seasoning to put in there, how long to cook it, and then how to serve it.
Oh, man. Anyways, any other questions you have about this? So, I mean, it's like equal parts hard work, determination, and grit.
Yeah. Sweat, blood, and tears, baby. 33, 33, 33.
80% of the game is half mental.
Sex Panther. 50% of the time, it works every time, baby.
Oh, God. Barrel's going to love. Like, what's their blending method, Sex Panther? No, they do. Joe and the team over there at BCS, they do a great job. They do an amazing job.
And I'm sure they didn't write this either. The PR folks did. So maybe if anything, they can have fun and give a little couple of pokes at them over it as well.
But it makes me want to go like systematically combined according to a blending process fueled in equal parts by scientific approach, experience, creativity, and experimentation.
I mean, it does throw the mind off, right?
Yeah, but like you need to use it
Okay.
in the announcer voice, right? Like it's
I'm just making sure, like, because you read it and probably didn't think about it as you were reading it, but like to hear it, you're like, hold on, you talking about the blend or what were they talking about? Anyway,
anyways, what do you think about this whiskey, Zeke Baker?
let's see. My first set of notes, I said that on the entry, it seemed kind of warm. I kind of picked up a good caramel and vanilla. A little further in, I got a really good dark chocolate expression coming across. Revisiting, I felt like the front to back experience, so to speak, also has a fair amount of corn undertones that are kind of there. I really didn't get them the first time, but as I kind of got a little more familiar with it and tried to dive a little deeper into it, that's when I picked those up. Again, it's definitely an undertone, but that's second or tertiary kind of stuff. That's definitely what's there. Overall, as far as a feeling to it, it seemed like it tried to be hot at the back, but it isn't. And then not to like contradict that, but it did also leave the tongue feeling a little bit chafed, so to speak. And it has a very drying residual feeling that lingers well after the pour is gone, especially after you have it a couple times. The tongue to me, seemed a little more, not necessarily chafed, I guess that's the word I put down. It's not like it's raw or like when you eat like 25 Pringles salt and vinegar chips, but it's kind of on that path maybe. And again, it definitely leaves the mouth feeling really dry after the taste.
Really?
That's what I got, bro.
Really?
Market 8, dude.
I got like a ton of creme brulee on the nose. Just like fruit and creme brulee. It was like creme brulee with fruit on top. That was so good. And I know there's been a lot of hype for this. I know like if you're following the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the internets, there's a lot of people like hyping this one up. I thought it was damn good. I got fruity, tasty, sweet oak. I said it's good. It was just a shit ton of flavor. The mouthfeel felt thick. Like I enjoyed the hell out of this pour.
Maybe you read too much internet, what's the word? Influence.
Hype.
Something along that stretch.
I loved it. I really did love this one.
I mean, it's not offensive, but I don't see anything about it in any direction that makes me jump up and down and want to do the hokey pokey.
Did you brush your teeth first?
No, I did not.
I
mean, it's not bad. I just don't really get anything that pushes it in any direction for me. And again, the dryness on the finish and then kind of the corn undertone that's there. It's just enough to think. But I do have to wonder, I mean, how do you decide with 3 different types of finishing barrels and 3 different types of juice from the get-go? Do you just say, well, this juice goes best with this barrel and so on and so on? Or do you finish some of each of your 3 sources in each of your 3 types of barrels? I mean, that equation is going to look pretty weird. You're trying to figure out all the different options you can and can't come up with. And who knows? But to me, there's enough variables in there. And I feel like with the hodgepodge of the blend, it just doesn't quite hit my sweet spots.
I mean, I think that the corn in the Tennessee you pick out, though. Like, that's the thing, is where I like it and I can kind of get past it. Like, you get a whiff of that and you're like, ah.
But I mean, it's not the vitamin or that kind of minerality. I definitely think the Tennessee components, it may not be responsible for all of the heat that's in this, but I mean, you and I both know for a very low rye content bourbon or whiskey or whatever, it kicks up more heat more than most.
I get it. But I thought there was just a ton of flavor for me. I thought it was complex. There was a lot of good stuff.
I am still intrigued by the whole pricing process between Barrell and Stellum, and yes or no, they may or may not be the exact same brand. However you want to look at it, I'm not going to debate that. But this is definitely something that took a lot of time and work to have 3 different sources, 3 different types of finished barrels, blend it all into a profile you like and you're proud of, and it's cash strength. But then it's the same price as plenty of other SKUs or releases that seemingly shouldn't have taken as much work or time to put in. Again, I'm not going to complain since I think this one's on the easier side of the pricing viewpoint, if you want to call it that, from the consumer. But you kind of wonder, like, who's coming up with these numbers? Are they just arbitrary, or hey, we're just going to mark everything that for this year? I mean, I don't think the whatever hyper aged BCS they come out with this year will be $90. I'm pretty certain of that. But
no, but I think that like $90, like the Vantage, the Seagrass, all those kind of, they all kind of go into that same pricing structure. I think that's kind of just the pricing structure for Barrell. Like, so Barrell is going to be more of that barrel craft spirits. And then you might have Stellum that goes a little bit lower, is a little more approachable. They use the same kind of stuff that they would do for the Barrell barrel process, it's just not as like, if you read this, they're talking about like different toast levels and different char levels. And like, there's a lot of complexity that goes in here to making a Vantage, where maybe Stellum just is kind of a simplified, more just, hey, we blend it together.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The last Stellum we reviewed, I think both of them were $90, weren't they? One of them was.
But those were the Stellum blacks.
Well, either way, what work or effort or special barrels went into it to justify the same price as something that took this much work? That's what I'm saying, Edwards.
I hear you. We're going to have Joe on. We're going to have Joe on at some point. We're going to have to.
Again, I'm not mad at this one because I think the consumer's coming out much more on the winning side compared to the work that went into it, I guess. I don't know. Strange things kind of throw me off a little bit. This one does.
You love to get thrown off a little bit.
Not going to go there right now, John. I had a few different angles on that. Not the most PC, but sometimes you make it the full 8 seconds and sometimes you don't.
I love when I stump you. When I just get you and you're like, you son of a bitch. Anyways, are you getting this one or no?
I would happily get it as a CNS for someone, but I'm pretty good right now.
I would be happy with this one. I would, personally. I love it. Whenever I get a creme brulee on the nose, I get a little giddy. So
I would take some of those earlier batches of Barrell we reviewed, a few months back. There was at least 2 or 3 of those. I can't remember the numbers because it's been more than a minute and I've slept since then, but there was definitely 2 or 3 batches from earlier in the year that I thought were much more in my wheelhouse, and at roughly the same price point, I'd jump all over those.
Thank you, Barrell, for sending us this bottle. I know I will be getting another one, but you could go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Please leave us an open and honest review, just like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee.
Cheers.
Ciao.